Well, hello there, people. Welcome to yet another episode of E-Wasted. So, yeah, this time we are dealing with, as someone in the comments put it, a potato. But that's not surprising because these are all budget builds I do pretty much. So this is more or less a potato farm. But, anyways, this particular potato is a Lenovo H430 PC. Now, this originally on eBay, I was kind of skeptical because it's second gen i3 it's got in there. Okay, can't do much with that, but I looked it up and like, okay, well, it's upgradable. It's not only the Sandy bridge, you can slap an Ivy bridge chip in there. So that means you can get a third gen i7 or equivalent Xeon, which is what I shoot for because they're still, even after this long, significantly cheaper. I don't know, maybe I haven't checked on the i7 ones, but I'd imagine they're still up around at least $20 maybe. Well, the Xeons are more like 10 to 12 or something like that for the i7 equivalent, the 1240s or 1270s or whichever variant you're going for there. But anyway, so here is this Lenovo H430 with an i3-2130, 6 gigs of RAM, and a terabyte hard drive, which turned out to be a 120 gig solid state drive. An older one, which was good actually because I had this other system that did not like the new 120 gig solid state drives that I had. So getting an old one was actually helpful opposed to the terabyte drive. So, anyways, what am I going to be able to transform this thing into? Well, we will switch over and start witnessing the transformation while I walk us through it here. Let me see. There's the camera. Get that sucker playing. There we go. Okay. Just like a kid at Christmas, I'm tearing this package apart. I want to get to the goods, the potato within. But anyways, so it's got the i3 2130 3.4 gigahertz came with it. So it's only got, what is it, like 2 cores, 4 threads. Multi-thread rating on the passmark benchmark here is 2042, while its single thread is 1555. And this is the second gen. This is the Sandy bridge, but you jump up to the Ivy bridge, the max that you can get, or close to it, you could get like a 3790 or get the K variant or whatever. But this is, it's at least the i7, the third gen i7. And you get 6411 on the multi-thread and then 2072. So definitely a step up over the i3. And that's consuming 77 watts, 4-core thread. And then its Xeon counterpart here is also has a clock speed of 3.4 gigahertz, but instead of a turbo speed of 3.9, they back it off to 3.8, and it's only 69 watts power consumption. But you look at the multi-thread rating, it's 6362, and then single thread rating of 2035. So it's pretty close in there, which is also pretty close to what I benchmarked it with the Passmark software. It's like 6524 and then 2105, which is actually better than both of the internal stock scores for either the i7 or the Xeon. But anyways, let's look at how I'm getting on setting this bastard up here. Let's see. Ooh. There we go. How is that doing? Yeah, I'm getting something. Computer's on. Maybe I was just testing it at stock there, and I don't think I've got the graphics card in yet. So I must have just been seeing if it'd actually turn on, which is always good to do before you go into upgrade mode. Check and see if it works as shipped. But I might have to kick this up into overdrive because this was kind of a longer video here. So we'll see. 2 speed, maybe. There we go, 4x speed. And see you really put some stuff together fast there. Okay, now I'm busting some vacuuming out. A lot of these come dusty. So it's good to get the dust out. I usually just use a paintbrush and a vacuum. Paintbrush kind of breaks stuff up. Vacuum will get the dust out. I mean, yeah. So I'm getting to the CPU swap there. So I have the. Oh yeah, I didn't put the CPU on that I got, but it's got. This is it right here. It's the E3-1240 version 2. Off eBay, it was like $12. So here is the eventual listing of what it got transformed into. Windows 10 Home, which was actually good because I think it originally had the Windows 7 license, which somebody upgraded to the Windows 10, and which actually managed to run Windows 11, which is, you could probably get more performance out of it with the Windows 10, but if you can get Windows 11 running on things, I tend to see people liking it more now just because, you're about to lose support for the Windows 10. But it seems like it's the way to fly if you can get it to run on there. I mean, even if you're missing out on a little bit of potential performance. But anyways, yes, so this is the light gamer PC, Lenovo H430, Windows 10 Home, 64-bit, fresh install. Xeon E3-1240 version 2 at 3.4 GHz, 4-core 8-thread, like 3rd Gen i7, 120 gig SATA SSD, that was new, and a 500 gig. Well, dang, I had a typo there. That's not a SATA SSD, that's a SATA HDD. So yeah, it was actually an SSHD. It had 8 gigabytes of flash memory in the drive or something like that. But then this thing's also rocking a GTX 1050 Ti 4 gigabyte, which was the card I actually found that locally for just around 40 or 45 bucks or something. Which is, a nice, still pretty nice go-to for these systems. It's not going to get you playing your AAA titles or anything, but you might be able to jump in on some of them at low settings or 720p and definitely do eSports and older titles, it's stuff like that. But yeah. Then it has 16 gigabytes of DDR3 1600. I think it was just 2 8 gig sticks that I got out of this other system. Then it also came with a DVD player. And I put a cheapo little Wi-Fi adapter in most of the systems because people, even if it's only the 2.4 gigahertz, like 150 megabytes per second, megabits per second, it's still pretty functional. It'll still get you doing some stuff. Better than nothing. Better than not having Wi-Fi, I found. Anyways, so we'll look at this is one of the SSHDs that I put in there. Yeah, that's the secondary drive, just a cheapo little 2.5 500 gigabyte SSHD SATA. And then for the 120 gigabyte solid state drive, I found that the 10 packs of the Patriots are pretty cost efficient. I mean, you can get them in the packaging for like 88 bucks, or if you get the bulk packaging, it's like 84 bucks. And they had it down to 79 a little bit ago, but either way, it's a pretty good deal. But I've been seeing that just individually there's some, I think it's like the Lexar, like 488 solid state drives have started dropping back down because they were like anything close to 500 gig was getting up to like 30 bucks or so, and I'm starting to see some drop down, closer to 20, and that makes it a little more like, well, no reason to just get a 120 gig like solid state drive and 500 gigabyte used hard drive when you can just get a new almost 500 gigabyte solid state drive for 20 bucks. It's like, it's just about back to that point. 30 bucks, I'm like, for building budget builds, I still kind of prefer keeping it under the 20 for the disk expenditure because, hey, these are potatoes and people are broke. So you gotta build what people can afford. There's what people want, because people want the brand new state of the art gaming system, and then how low can your low ball low? You know, just offer half and people are gonna accept it, right? Yeah, not really. Anyways, here, let's see where I am on the video. I think, okay, we got Windows 11 installed, I think. I believe this is Windows 11. So we've got our benchmark software going here. Yeah, and where this is leading is to this benchmark here. This is all that's going on there is going on right here. So we had the CPU mark of right around little, mid 6,000s, 6524, single thread of 2105, which is pretty decent for, the age of the CPU. This is still coming in right about like the 8th or 9th gen i3s, somewhere right in there, and the i3s are going to get higher in the single thread, but as far as the multi-thread, that's about the same. And it's also the same with the, like, probably a Ryzen 3, like maybe the second gen ones. I know the first gen ones, they had really bad like single thread scores. They were like 17 or 1800 or something on this benchmark anyways. But yeah. And then, disk mark, it's kind of low, but it might just be it's an older generation of SATA, and that's kind of strangling the performance of what the drive could do. I think I've seen these drives do like usually in like the 3000 range or something. Memory mark, that's pretty standard for what it is there. Yeah, that's what we're looking at there. There's the overall benchmark, and the video is done there. So yeah, that's pretty much it there. We got the CPU mark, the 6000s, 3D mark. This is, once again, I still hadn't upgraded my test monitor back to something that's more than 720p, so that's nerfed a little bit. It's going to be probably about 10 to 15% more than you're going to test with a lower res monitor there. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's a pretty functional little potato. You could call it a sweet potato, a baked potato, I don't know. But that is it, I think. And I don't think there's much more I can say about this potato here. So, we will talk to you next time, and thanks for tuning in and listening to me ramble about old e-waste or budget computers or whatever the heck it is I'm talking about. Anyways, adios.